All right, audio sync. 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. It's been a minute since I've done one of these. I've been doing a lot of sitting in my apartment. And in that time, I have spent quite a bit of time learning new audio and visual techniques. So I've basically been fucking around on YouTube, have no idea what I want to create. I know I like to make music, so I've been doing that. And a buddy of mine who has been making some very interesting YouTube videos themselves gave me the idea of being active with commenters. But the problem, you see, nobody comments. However, on my music video, it's all an array. Somebody asked me, or suggested to me, that I do a video in which I explain how it was made, and I thought that was an excellent idea. Time to look at the sausage, cut it open, and see how it's made. It's going to be a very in-depth project, as I use a lot of different programs and gear. So first, obviously, we made the song. We did that up in Ableton. Then for the visual, I modeled everything and put it together in Blender. Once that was rendered from the Blender, I put it into Touchdesigner for some post-production. And then for even further post-production, I ran it through my CBV001 circuit bent video enhancer here in the old Delia Modular synth. Delia? I'm not sure. Let's get into it. All right. So this project started with this song. First thing I made was this chord progression. I didn't anticipate doing this, or else I wouldn't have probably freeze and flattened any of this. But I started with this chord progression, duplicated it a few times, added some different effects to each one. Kind of sounds like this. I had forgotten too, I used a 707 kit and I believe 909 kit for these. I wanted some like a dance kind of beat. After I made that drum beat, I decided that I would make a second drum beat for like a second half of the song. Once again, kind of did the same strategy where I made this whole filled out section with all the different elements I was going to use, and then I subtracted for the intro part. But these drums sound like this. And then for the bass lines, I wanted to do some sort of neuro bass, for lack of better words, call and response kind of tones. Like I said, I wasn't anticipating doing this, or else I probably wouldn't have flattened all this, but I flattened it anyway. So I could time stretch it and fun stuff like that. But how I started this was I had one serum track doing like a basic sub. From there, I just kind of came up with a bass line overall, both like the call and response kind of pieces, and then I just duplicated that, figured out what sound, or as I progressed, made sounds for each different aspect of it, and then I left a entire pattern of the entire bass line for a basic sub sign. And so, like I said, I did some time stretching on this one specifically, this first bass line, but all together the basses kind of sound like this. Very, very crunchy. All right. So then I added some sound effects too. When I'm not being very creative, I use a lot of video game sound effects. So specifically in this one, I did a lot of time stretching to just a few sounds, which would be the Redead Scream, Mario from Mario 64 falling into a hole, the grind rail sound effect from Sonic 06, and then the Chaos Lance hit uh, from Sonic 06, specifically from the final story when Shadow is in his ultimate form. Instead of throwing the Chaos Spear, he throws the Chaos Lance, and if you charge it up, he'll shoot a ton of them. But yeah, so the sound effects, a little bit of it sounds like this. That last one was also ran through this vocoder, doing the chords up top here. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the song. Oh, I'm forgetting the best part, my favorite part. I did not know what to do for a melody, and I did not know what to do for a sound, so I just kind of kept noodling around and decided I wanted to freestyle this track. So at the time, I would have patched in a really cool sound on my matriarch, but I had it dialed in for another project, so I used everybody's favorite, Serum. Let's go. And the lead sounds a bit like this in the song. All right. And then after that, I moved over to Blender. All right. I just accidentally recorded this whole section on the wrong Blender project, so now we're in the right one. Let's go. First thing I did was actually just design one little square segment of Hall. I thought I was going to close off these originally, so I did not worry about leaving the modifier. I applied the modifier so that I could build those walls, except it turns out I decided to make this entire outer area right here. So yeah, I did not do that. But for the doors, I kind of did the same thing. I have these two array modifiers. So if you look at them, I'm doing a 4 count in the X direction, and then also one in the Y direction, so that they made a grid. And then this outer area kind of came towards the end. I wanted to do like a breaking out of bounds, but I did not know what to do for the out of bounds. And so I thought this is a perfect out of bounds setup because you're never supposed to go out of bounds. So maybe the out of bounds doesn't know it's quite yet. But yeah, most of the lighting, or all the lighting on the inside is not actually from any lights. It is from these little panels on the ceiling. I go into my camera. These panels on the ceiling, which are a separate texture. It's just a off-white emission texture, so that it glows and fills up the room. And then for the ambience, I have this principled volume on there to just add a slight volume. The camera also has a point light that is pointed to the camera, so that wherever the camera aims, the point light will aim to kind of emulate this flashlight. And then I just made a path in which the character follows with a null, slightly offset following that same path to kind of guide its looking. And then periodically I would kind of keep bringing the null into different positions, as well as the camera. Just a few times that I that it's the Blender project in a nutshell. Alright, and then now this is where the beginning of the magic happens. So I kind of just wanted to do some weird looking versions, like, I guess for lack of better words, I'm making my own Instagram filter for my videos. So I made this switch right here allows me to switch between my filters, and then right here we have a LFO pulse that is being counted that keeps track of the switches and then sends it back to the original 0 index. For that we just have like the original video and then 2 different effect tracks. But I did 2 sort of edges. So I did an alias where I only have the edges, which gives us a kind of red crackly look, as well as a normal edge, and I cranked the strength up quite intensely. Ran those into a comp, added them together, then created a little bit of feedback, sending that through so that the edges would kind of expand and flow, and then ran a overcomp so that I could put the original video here on top, and then I created this noise right here, which kind of looks like stars, to create the star background, as the video itself is kind of only the edges being output multiplied. But yeah, then the other effects track here is just a bloom into a blur, and then I put that into a comp with or set to difference, just with a HSV adjust and then a sharpen, and then adjusted the level, make it a little bit brighter, and then added another bloom. Then yeah, I just rendered it out as a video file, and then got ready to run it through the Modular synth. All right, so this is the part of the episode where we're calling audio gets different, because I'm not quite sure how to use my mic, or well, I know how, I just don't want to move my microphone around a lot, so we're going to use the camera microphone for this part. So yeah, after I was done in Touchdesigner, I ran it out of my computer, HDMI out to an AV output into my Modular synth, over to this TV, out of frame, into my Adderall V4, and then back into my computer as a recorded video. And so, we have our CVV001 over here. So basically all these different knobs just do random glitch effects. This is based on some sort of circuit bent video enhancer. I don't know too much about it, but I'll run the video into here, and then I will run the video out into my Adderall over here. Alright, so yeah, everything will run into here, and then that's displayed on here as well as captured back into the computer. And this just kind of I use mixes video signals. So on one end, on this little plunger here, I have it set to this video output, or the video output for my computer. And then I also have it doing a feedback loop, so it's just taking the straight output of this machine and running it back into an input, so you kind of get these weird feedback fading effects. And then some of the, like if I use the CVV 001, it kind of looks like these weird effects. And then sometimes if you do too much, it'll spear on you. And so you can get some kind of crazy effects just by twisting those knobs. Alright, and then that is essentially how I put together my music video. It's all an array. One of my finest designs.